less is more.
Then we see that this development of spacer is also touching to the embroidery sector. We have Union as an enormous good example of how you have to follow the lifestyle of seriously is the influence of sport. A lot of lingerie has become a hybrid product.
We're taking a big step into the digital and virtual world of the Hamburg Port Authority. And so even our interview is virtual.
Also, wir reden nicht mehr über die Zukunft, sondern die
So we're not talking about the future. The future is here already. Is that right? That's exactly what I think. Virtual world, a digital twin, sensors and simulations. Find out what that all has to do with the HPA in this new edition of Port is What We Do. So let's dive right in and find out first, what is what's referred to as a digital twin? We meet Ulrich Baldauf. He's Head of Research and Development at the Hamburg Port Authority.
Ein digitaler Zwilling ist, wie der Name schon sagt.
A digital twin is a digital update of a real object. It could be anything, a bridge or a building. And the key thing is not just having a nice 3D digital model of this real object, but having the model connected to data, real data that comes from sensors and also historic data.
Sensorik kommen und zum anderen auch historische Daten.
And connecting all this data and analyzing it is a major challenge. But how does that work precisely? On the one hand, for many years now, we've been using sensors, the Internet of Things, and we've been using virtual reality for several years now, where I can see a 3D model. We also have simulations, and we have the cloud everywhere. The art is to connect it all. Sounds interesting. So let's have a closer look at the term Smart Bridge. What's the Smart Bridge project about? Basically, it's all about maintenance. So we have a main piece of infrastructure, and we want it to be open for business as much as possible. And so the bridge, the Kolbrand Bridge in this case, is equipped with sensors, enabling us to forecast when maintenance is due. It means we can simulate big expensive changes in usage ahead of time using the digital twin and play through potential problems and solutions without impacting the real world negatively.
Merke sie da, mach nichts, habe ich keine Konsequenzen und in der realen Welt mache ich sie nicht.
And there are many ways to use the digital twin. For example, we use it to simulate fire escape procedures. We have digital twin versions of many of our buildings. And if you do a fire drill in a model like this, a virtual fire, then the exercise is very similar to the real thing. The future is already here, and you can see that very well in the port traffic center of the future. And if you want to, we can go there now.
Okay, that's a great idea. Let's dive into the virtual reality. So
here we are in the virtual port traffic center. Uli, great that we can take this trip into virtual reality together. Yes, it's a new step. I think it's really interesting in the digital twin to see not just how things are or were, we can also look into the future. And this port traffic center is a way of bundling traffic control. And you can tell that it's a vision that's not that far away, which is why we built a virtual port traffic center. It gives employees and others an idea of what it could look like.
Beschäftigten und anderen einfach eine Idee davon, wie es aussehen kann.
A virtual world you can grasp as transparent as possible, and thus understandable for all employees. I can put up the Katwijk Bridge here as a hologram. You can look at individual parts. You can imagine that all the data from sensors is up to date, and you look at what's causing the problem. And from here I can send out a drone. It flies to the Katwijk Bridge, and I can see the live pictures here on the screen.
Die Live-Bilder der Drohne anschauen. Die Mehrwerte für die HPA von digitalen Zwillingen sind.
The digital twin has a lot of added value and is multi-layered. One area is predictive maintenance and repairs. There's also safety and training, and also in terms of structures, we can plan buildings and look at them in the virtual world. In January, we started a 5-year project called Connected Urban Twin, sponsored by the German Interior Ministry. It's about building urban twins. And the HBA were invited to participate, especially because we have this expertise in virtual reality, simulation and IoT. The future is here. Lots of fascinating projects and new opportunities in the Port of Hamburg. And we'll keep you posted on developments in the real and virtual worlds.
Port is what we do.
If you think about, 4 macro trends during this COVID-19 and the pandemic and how 2020 has shaped up for us. So one is around the data centers are no longer the core of the network because of the multi-cloud adoption that is happening. The data and the workloads are shifting between the private data centers to the edge to the multi-cloud environment. The second is around zero trust network access, right? The ability for user and apps to connect with each other and profiling the security parameters to allow those interactions in a highly secure manner with zero trust capabilities, right? The third area that we're seeing is obviously the multi-cloud adoption, right? In terms of the automation that is needed for all of this data traffic, apps, workloads to be seen kind of coming together, and that becomes our new norm. And then the fourth one, when you think about it, is that the networking fabric is software defined, it is elastic, and it is agile. And that is what SD-WAN brings forward and kind of enables the trend 1, trend 2, trend 3 to make it real. At AT&T, we're thrilled to participate with MEF for the MEF Infinite Edge series. A lot of opportunities to learn thought leadership, vision of the future, where you see the marketplace growing, etc. So thrilled to be part of it. I hope you can join us, and thank you.
When I think of others, I don't see it better, but I think it should be there. Seeing different colors underneath what matters, and I wish you'd meet me there.
Network automation means different things in different markets. For an enterprise, network automation is still proprietary because it is integrated into the software-defined data center stacks that are provided by vendors. For a carrier whose business is the network automation includes people, process, and product automation.
10 years ago, Google reinvented the data center and the way in which services are deployed in a data center. Pretty much ever since then, everyone wants to be able to have the same type of capabilities, everyone in a major enterprise.
Automating a global enterprise at scale is a very difficult task. The concept of building a software company inside every Global 2000 enterprise is very daunting and monumental. There are a lot of challenges that exist, and Glueware is here to help apply powerful intelligence to accelerate enterprises on their network automation journey.
So in this hyper-connected environments where users are anywhere, the explosion of IoT devices happening at the edge and applications in a multi-cloud environment, networking as such is getting extremely complex. But managing the network shouldn't be complicated. It should be simple. And the answer to that simplicity is automation.
So unfortunately, network automation is still largely driven by scripts, and it's a very human-centric mindset. And we're really moving towards a machine-centric network automation concept. And to do so, we really need to think about adopting orchestration concepts, controller concepts, DevOps concepts, and really move from humans on CLIs to machine-driven automation.
The next generation of automation, we believe, is a mixture of access to devices, an API into devices, and massively scalable workflows. We've learned our lesson from the cloud operators in terms of how we can horizontally scale a massive number of infrastructure workflows, and we took that lesson and applied it to networking.
People have been talking about automation for a very long time, but mostly when people talk about automation, they mean configuration management. They mean day zero automation, essentially pushing configurations on day zero onto devices. That's a very limited view of automation. Automation, for it to make a difference, needs to encompass the entire life cycle of infrastructure services. Day zero, day one, day 2+. It needs to be centered around a single source of truth, a representation of your infrastructure, all of the state of the infrastructure, and how it relates to the desired outcomes, this notion of intent.
So inside Chai Mobile, we really see the marriage between the network and AI is a key for 5G for the next generation of network. Because for that purpose, we actually merge our AI R&D together with the network. The folks used to do R&D for network for development.
LF Networking and ONAP delivered an amazing release called Dublin this summer. Dublin is focused on network automation for the telecom providers before 5G hits.
Inside AT&T, we actually take ONAP, the open source code, we bring it in, we create something we still call eComp. And the reason that is that we have to add our order management, our BSS systems, our OSS systems to it. But it's been up and running in our network for many years now. It's not just in mobility, it's not just in our business area, it's not just in our consumer area, it's wide across all our infrastructure areas. So it's really become the de facto of what we use to build the network going forward.